Morning and welcome to part 7 of the Collins Reading Aloud project. Here we go. Advertisings, advertorial, advertorials, adverts, adview, adviewed, adviewing, adviews, advice, adviceful, advices, advisabilities, advisability, advisable, advisableness, advisablenesses, advisably, advisatory, advise, advised, advisedly, advisedness, advisednesses, advisee, advisees, advisement, advisements, advisor, advisors, advisorship, advisorships, advises, advising, advisings, advisor, advisorate, advisorates, advisories, advisors, advisory, advocate, advocates, advocacies, advocacy, advocate, advocated, advocates, advocating, advocation, advocations, advocative, advocator, advocators, advocatory, advoucher, advoucherers, advoutries, advoutry, advowson, advowsons, adward, adwarded, adwarding, adwards, adware, adwares, adwoman, adwomen, adynamia, adynamias, adynamic, aditer, aditum, ads, adsed, adzis, adzing, adzuki, adzukis, asia, aesial, acedia, acedial, acediospore, acediospores, acedium, acedospore, acedospores, aciospore, aciospores, ecium, edis, edicule, edicules, edile, ediles, edileship, edileships, edine, efald, efald, egirine, egirines, egirite, egirites, aegis, aegises, eglog, eglogs, egrotat, egrotats, emule, emuled, emules, emuling, enus, enus, enuses, aeolian, aeolipile, aeolipiles, aeolipile, aeolipiles, aeolotropic, aeolotropes, aeolotropy, eon, eonian, eonic, eons, epiornis, epiornises, equorin, equorins, aeradio, aeradios, aerate, aerated, aerates, aerating, aeration, aerations, aerator, aerators, aerenchimer, aerenchimers, aerenchimatus, aerial, aerialist, aerialists, aerialities, aeriality, aerially, aerials, airy, airied, area, aries, airiest, aerification, aerifications, aerified, aerifies, aeriform, aerify, aerifying, aerily, aero, aeroacoustics, aeroballistics, aerobat, aerobatic, aerobatics, aerobats, aerobe, aerobes, aerobia, aerobic, aerobically, aerobicize, aerobicized, aerobicizes, aerobicizing, aerobicist, aerobicists, aerobicize, aerobicized, aerobicizes, aerobicizing, aerobics, aerobiological, aerobiologies, aerobiologist, aerobiologists, aerobiology, aerobiont, aerobionts, aerobioses, aerobiosis, aerobiotic, aerobiotically, aerobium, aerobomb, aerobombs, aerobot, aerobots, aerobrake, aerobraked, aerobrakes, aerobreaking, aerobreakings, aerobus, aerobuses, aerobuses, aerodart, aerodarts, aerodigestive, aerodonetics, aerodrome, aerodromes, aeroduct, aeroducts, aerodynamic, aerodynamical, aerodynamically, aerodynamicist, aerodynamicists, aerodynamics, aerodyne, aerodynes, aeroelastic, aeroelastician, aeroelasticians, aeroelasticity, aeroembolism, aeroembolisms, aerofoil, aerofoils, aerogel, aerogels, aerogenerator, aerogenerators, aerogram, aerogram, aerograms, aerograms, aerograph, aerographies, aerographs, aerography, aerohydroplane, aerohydroplanes, aerolite, aerolites, aerolith, aerolithologies, aerolithology, aeroliths, aerolytic, aerologic, aerological, aerologies, aerologist, aerologists, aerology, aeromagnetic, aeromancies, aeromancy, aeromechanic, aeromechanical, aeromechanics, aeromedical, aeromedicine, aeromedicines, aerometer, aerometers, aerometric, aerometries, aerometry, aeromodelling, aeromodellings, aeromotor, aeromotors, aeronaut, aeronautic, aeronautical, aeronautically, aeronautics, aeronauts, aeroneuroses, aeroneurosis, aeronoma, aeronomas, aeronomic, aeronomical, aeronomies, aeronomist, aeronomists, aeronomy, aeropause, aeropauses, aerophagia, aerophages, aerophages, aerophagy, aerophobe, aerophobes, aerophobia, aerophobias, aerophobic, aerophone, aerophones, aerophore, aerophores, aerophyte, aerophytes, aeroplane, aeroplanes, aeroplankton, aeroplanktons, aeropulse, aeropulses, aeros, aerosat, aerosats, aeroscope, aeroscopes, aeroshell, aeroshells, aerosiderite, aerosiderites, aerosol, aerosolization, aerosolizations, aerosolize, aerosolized, aerosolizes, aerosolizing, aerosolization, aerosolizations, aerosolize, aerosolized, aerosolizes, aerosolizing, aerosols, aerospace, aerospaces, aerosphere, aerospheres, aerospike, aerospikes, aerostat, aerostatic, aerostatical, aerostatics, aerostation, aerostations, aerostats, aerostructure, aerostructures, aerotactic, aerotaxis, aerotaxis, aerotone, aerotones, aerotrain, aerotrains, aerotropic, aerotropism, aerotropisms, aeruginous, aerugo, aerugos, aery, iskis, Aeschylin, Aeschylins, Acer, Aesthesis, Aestheses, Aesthesia, Aesthesias, Aesthesiogen, Aesthesiogenic, Aesthesiogens, Aesthesis, Aesthete, Aesthetes, Aesthetic, Aesthetical, Aesthetically, Aesthetician, Aestheticians, Aestheticize, Aestheticized, Aestheticizes, Aestheticizing, Aestheticism, Aestheticisms, Aestheticist, Aestheticists, aestheticize, aestheticized, aestheticizes, aestheticizing, aesthetics, eastival, eastivate, eastivated, eastivates, eastivating, eastivation, eastivations, estivator, estivators, aetatis, ether, ethereal, etherealities, ethereality, ethereally, etheric, ethers, etherioscope, etherioscopes, etiological, etiologically, etiologies, etiologist, etiologists, etiology. Run out of words. Afouled, afar, afarer, afarers, afars, afouled, afear, afeared, afeared, afearing, afears. Afebrile, affabilities, affability, affable, affably, affair, affair, affairs, affairs, afear, afeared, afear, afeared, affears, afearing, affears, affect, affectabilities, affectability, affectable, affectation, affectations, affected, affectedly, affectedness, affectednesses, affector, affectors, affecting, affectingly, affection, affectional, affectionally, affectionate, affectionately, affectioned, affectioning, affectionless, affections, affective, affectively, effectiveness, effectivenesses, effectivities, effectivity, affectless, affectlessness, affects, affear, affeared, affearing, affearment, affearments, affears, affinpincher, affinpinchers, afferent, afferently, afferents, affetuoso, affiance, affianced, affiances, affiancing, affiant, affiance, affiche, affiches, afficionado, afficionados, affidavit, affidavits, affied, affies, affiliable, affiliate, affiliated, affiliates, affiliating, affiliation, affiliations, affinal, affine, affined, affinely, affines, affinities, affinitive, affinity, affirm, affirmable, affirmants, affirmances, affirmant, affirmants, affirmation, affirmations, affirmative, affirmatively, affirmatives, affirmatory, affirmed, affirmer, affirmers, affirming, affirmingly, affirms, affix, affixable, affixal, affixation, affixations, affixed, affixer, affixers, affixes, affixial, affixing, affixment, affixments, affixture, affixtures, afflated, afflation, afflations, afflatus, afflatuses, afflict, afflicted, afflictor, afflictors, afflicting, afflictings, affliction, afflictions, afflictive, afflictively, afflicts, affluence. Okay, got a low battery warning just at the 10-minute mark, but that's another 10 minutes done. I'll see you tomorrow.